Excellencies, it would be remiss of me to not also highlight the historic participation of the territories in this year's seminar. 11 of the 17 territories are represented here today. Such strong participation is not only welcome, but a clear illustration that the decolonization agenda remains a further in the search for concrete advances in the decolonization process. As we observe annually in May, the Week of Solidarity with the peoples of the non-self-governing territories, let us take this opportunity to reflect upon the role played by all in the support of the work of decolonization in accordance with the purposes and principles enshrined in the Charter of the United Nations and all relevant resolutions of the General Assembly. Over the next few days, I invite you to actively engage ideas and opinions on the various topics proposed for discussion. Let us take advantage of the time amidst such robust participation for open and fruitful discussions. As I intimated earlier, St. Lucia is a country well known for its unwavering commitment to the cause of decolonization. On 6 occasions, 2001 through 2003, 2005 to 2006, and in 2010, St. Lucia held the chairmanship of the committee, successfully guiding its work. Moreover, St. Lucia's hosting of this year's seminar, despite the ongoing extraordinary and unprecedented global health situation, and hosting the seminar for the second time in the committee's history, is indicative of its robust dedication to the decolonization agenda. During the 1999 Caribbean Regional Seminar hosted by St. Lucia, in his statement of welcome, then Minister for Foreign Affairs and International Trade of St. Lucia underlined that the seminars are, and I quote, an important tool in providing the international community with a first-hand account of the conditions in the remaining territories and provide an opportunity to hear from the people themselves on the situation on the ground. Ladies and gentlemen, that fact remains true today. And in echoing his words, I would again emphasize that the importance that we attach to these annual gatherings, which provide the opportunity to reaffirm our commitment to the implementation of our mandate. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know St. Lucia is very committed to the decolonization agenda, but we also know that St. Lucia is a beautiful island. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to St. Lucia.
Jumping for the gold, 2 legs on cafe, I'll cut you off.
invite to the rostrum the Honorable Philip J. Pear, Prime Minister of St. Lucia, to address the seminar.
Thank you very much, Mistress of Ceremony. I saw some of you dancing in your chairs. You can invite you to, you can possibly ask the hotel management. You can have some dancing during lunchtime. Good morning, delegates. Good morning, everyone. Madam Chair of the Special Committee on Decolonization, members of the Bureau and other members of the committee, representatives of other United Nations member states, representatives of non-self-governing territories, experts, delegates from civil society, officials of United Nations agencies, members of the United Nations Secretariat, members of the Diplomatic Corps. Let me recognize Excellency Ambassador Menisa Mbali of St. Lucia. I noticed the ambassador to Cuba and the ambassador Republic of China, Taiwan, and other members of the local diplomatic corps. And on behalf of the government and people of St. Lucia, I wish to extend to you a warm welcome to our beautiful country. For these delegations from Africa, I wish to welcome you home in the 6th region of Africa. For those of you who are visiting the Caribbean for the first time, I also wish to welcome you to our region, to a country that advanced through a process of self-determination and independence under the watchful eye of the United Nations, including this Special Committee on Decolonization. It's now 43 years since our independence here in St. Lucia. And during these 4 decades, we have given honor to our act of self-determination by growing and protecting our democracy. General elections have been held freely and fairly in accordance with the electoral calendar established by our Constitution. And the will of the people has regularly changed governments as the people have so desired. But decolonization for us has to be more than raising the flag of independence. It must mean that our people know, understand, and appreciate our history, our heritage. And so my government will be making the teaching of African and Caribbean history an integral part of the school curriculum. Beginning this year too, we'll give more meaning to our independence by commemorating the anniversary of our emancipation from slavery in August on a grand scale for the first time. And let me add, that is in keeping with our goal to expand our diplomatic relations with countries of Africa. My address here this morning, this opening ceremony of the 2022 Pacific Regional Seminar on the implementation of the 4th International Decade for the Eradication of Colonialism, is of special significance because it's another milestone in St. Lucia's close relationship with the Special Committee of 24. In 1999, St. Lucia for the first time hosted a Caribbean Regional Seminar which produced a number of important recommendations for the consideration of UN member states. But more importantly, since then, 4 of our permanent representatives to the UN have served as chair of the Special Committee of Decolonization. Ambassador Sir Julian R. Hunt, 2005 to 2006. Ambassador Earl Stephen Huntley, 2001 to 2003. Ambassador Anthony Severin, 2006. And Ambassador Donatus St. Emmy, 2010. This chairmanship of the Special Committee is part of St. Lucia's contribution to the political, socio-economic, and constitutional development of non-self-governing territories globally, and an affirmation of its firm support for the work of the C24. The regional seminars have been highly useful in assessing the special characteristics of small island territories, They have provided a unique opportunity for vital interregional contacts among representatives of small island, non-self-governing territories, as well as for sharing experiences and challenges along the path towards the full measure of self-government. The Caribbean has a special interest in the successful self-determination process of the small island territories in our region. The advancement to full self-government is a core issue for the Caribbean, for we regard the non-self-governing territories as integral parts of the economic, political, and social fabric of the Caribbean. Both independent and non-independent countries enjoy a high level of economic and social integration with our regional institutions. This is evidenced by the associate or full membership of 3 non-self-governing territories, Anguilla, British Virgin Islands, and Montserrat, in the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, OECS, headquartered right here in St. Lucia. Both Montserrat and Anguilla share our Eastern Caribbean dollar as its official currency, and both are members of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. 5 of the 7 Caribbean non-self-governing territories, Bermuda, Turks and Caicos Islands, Cayman Islands, British Virgin Islands, and Anguilla, are associate members of the Caribbean Community, CARICOM. While Montserrat enjoys full membership, most benefit from assistance from the Caribbean Development Bank. As is the case of regional institutions, the United Nations has an important statutory role to play in the future development process of these territories. The successful decolonization of over 80 territories since World War II reflects the effectiveness of this historical role. These advancements were successful in large measure because of the adherence to the parameters of self-determination set forth by the United Nations General Assembly in its landmark resolution 1541 of 1960, which defined the 3 legitimate political options for non-self-governing territories based on the fundamental principle of absolute political equality. It is understood that these principles set forth in Resolution 1541 as a companion resolution to the Decolonization Declaration must continue to be the guiding standards applicable to small island non-self-governing territories, just as they were the standards used to decolonize former colonies. However, we must be pragmatic and recognize that it was in 1998 that the UN declared the period 1990 to 2000 as the International Decade for the Eradication of Colonialism, and that we have now entered a 4th decade and the process is yet to be completed. In fact, it has been said that we are witnessing a period of stagnation. This has been compounded by the fact that the present non-self-governing arrangements do not meet the recognized criteria of full self-government. It is as ironic but timely for the C24 to recognize the unsatisfactory nature of these non-self-governing arrangements. That this seminar is being held during a governance crisis in the British Virgin Islands, in which the United Kingdom has indicated its intention to impose direct rule on the BVI. This has been soundly condemned by the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, OECS, and in reaffirming St. Lucia's support for this position, let me quote from the statement of the OECS authority on 2nd May 2022, and I quote, "The OECS has noted the position taken by the duly elected government of the BVI, which, while welcoming the recommendations arising from the inquiry, rejects the intention of the British government to impose direct rule on the BVI. It is clear to us that in principle it is ill-advised to impose direct colonial rule, and the history of such imposition in the Caribbean has never delivered the desired result." The OECS concurs with the elected representatives of the people of the BVI. The abolition of Parliament with direct rule from London represents a retrograde step in the evolution of the democratic process that is inconsistent with the United Nations proclamation of human rights to be free of colonial rule. The UN Declaration on Granting Independence to Colonial Countries and People's Resolution 1514 of 1960 is an international commitment to which Britain is itself bound. The theme for this 2022 regional seminar is advancement of the non-self-governing territories through the coronavirus disease pandemic. As you all know, the COVID-19 pandemic has been devastating. Neither the governance status of countries nor the political colors of their peoples have mattered in this rampage, and it would have made the process of decolonization a tougher task. It has taken ingenuity, hardiness, patience, and acceptance of new modes of doing things for countries to recover from and successfully cope with COVID-19. If decolonization is to be advanced in this COVID environment, then the C24 must adopt these same principles. There is therefore much work ahead, some of it quite complex, if there is to be successful decolonization for the remaining of the non-self-governing territories. We can no longer afford the continued repetition of process, which finds continual reaffirmation of the mandates without accountability for implementation. As the former chair of the committee from Papua Guinea famously said in the 1990s, we must begin to think outside the basket to find solutions to advancing the decolonization process. In this regard, I want to recognize the work of St. Lucia's former chairs of the C20 in 2001 and 2003. Ambassador Earl Huntley caused the special committee to act outside the basket. Distinguished participants, it is our fervent hope that the recommendations that will be derived from these proceedings will be integrated to the extent possible in the resolutions with the accompanying financial and professional resources made available for their implementation. Of course, within the framework of your deliberations, we encourage you to take time to visit our beautiful St. Lucia, the land of two pitons, the birthplace of two Nobel laureates, and an island for our rich, vibrant culture and traditions, an island for you to savor. I wish you well in your deliberations and formally declare open this 2022 Pacific Regional Seminar on the implementation of the 4th International Decade for the Eradication of Colonialism and the Advancement of Non-Self-Governing Territories through the coronavirus pandemic and beyond. I thank you.
I thank the Honorable Prime Minister for his statement. On behalf of all members of the Special Committee and all seminar participants, I would also like to thank the Prime Minister profoundly for his warm and gracious welcome to us all, and for the generous support with which the government and people of St. Lucia have extended to us through all stages of our preparations for this meeting. I would also like to express my deep gratitude to Her Excellency Ms. Minister Rambali, Permanent Representative of St. Lucia to the United Nations, for her immeasurable dedication, which has been critical to ensuring that we are all gathered here today safely, fulfilling this important mandate in the United Nations decolonization agenda. I thank you, Ambassador. Such dedication is an eloquent expression of St. Lucia's strong commitment and support for the committee's work in the cause of decolonization in general. I would like to inform participants that the seminar has received a message from the Secretary General of the United Nations. I now invite participants to view a pre-recorded video message by the Secretary General, His Excellency Antonio Guterres.
I send my greetings to the regional seminar of the C24, the Special Committee on Decolonization. I thank the government and people of St. Lucia for hosting it. Coming from a former colonial power, I certainly know that a straight line can be drawn from yesterday's conquests and today's challenges faced by non-self-governing territories. Those diverse challenges, which are unique to each territory, are compounded by COVID-19. These territories are particularly vulnerable because of persistent challenges that predate the pandemic. Steps on systems, economic wounds, and of course the real-time devastation of climate change, especially rising sea levels. As a global community, we must find avenues of support for these territories to invest in sustainable recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic this year's theme. We need concrete ideas to help them move forward. This includes efforts to strengthen health systems and the response capacities in the face of future pandemics. It also includes continuing to support all economic recovery efforts as these territories emerge from the COVID-19 pandemic. And it includes real, tangible support to help them transition to green economies. This year's seminar is a critical step in making progress on the decarbonization agenda and preparing for C24's substantive session next month. I wish you a productive seminar.
Excellencies and distinguished participants, as our official opening ceremony comes to a close, I would like to invite all participants to take the official group photograph of the seminar, and thereafter to join for coffee and refreshments that will be served outside of this conference room. We will return to the conference room in 30 minutes at 11:35 a.m. to start our substantive work with the first meeting of the seminar. I would request participants to please remain seated while I accompany the Prime Minister to the picture area. Kindly note that participants will thereafter be escorted to the photo area by the Secretary of the Committee, Ms. Claudia Hare. I thank you again.
Let me take my shot. Not you.